Welcome to the Business Renovator. Coach Phil here again, your host. I'm just out of a 3-day conference, virtual as it may have been, but impactful it definitely was. I want to share some nuggets that I got from the past 3 days of hanging out with my fellow business coaches with the Focal Point Brian Tracy powered group of wonderful people. But before I do that, let's jump into Brian's book. Brian Monahan, he is the curator, author, and publisher, I guess, of this wonderful book, Customer Delight 365. And the quote I'm looking at today is by Jim Rohn. And what Jim talks about is you must either modify your dreams or magnify your skills. Brian says in terms of customer satisfaction, you can settle for satisfaction or plan for delight. So Jim Rohn, you must either modify your dreams or magnify your skills. So the reason I picked that one for today was coming out of a conference with like-minded people where we actually slowed down to go fast, which was the title of today's Business Renovator. And thank you for being here live, or if you catch it on the replay. Please share this out with your friends, relatives, and competitors. Yes, I said competitors. Think about that. The Focal Point, the franchise, was created by Brian Tracy and Cam Frazier as a result of many years, and this book and the content of this book and the knowledge that Brian gleaned over his 40 plus years and his 80 books, and his partner, his dear partner, Cameron Frazier, was amazing. We were reflecting on Cam's impact to the world, and I had the pleasure of meeting Cam in Banff in the Rocky Mountains in Alberta, near where I live. And I miss the guy. I teared up when we were recalling him yesterday, and his wife was there to give the Cam Frazier Award out. It was a wonderful place to hang out with like-minded people. And I just wanted to share a few of the nuggets that that really spoke to me, I suppose, is what I'm trying to say. And there was a book by, I forget the name of the author, but one of my fellow coaches, Kerry Hoffman, brought this up. And I knew of the work from Dr. Joe Dispenza, but the hidden messages in water, it's a book, and I don't have the author's name handy. But if you look up the hidden messages in water, what they found was that thought is energy, and those thought energies can be captured in water. Yeah, I know, it sounds crazy. Read the book. You can actually get it from Amazon, or if you have access to Scribe, you can listen to the audio or get the book there to have a listen to it as well. And what it's talking about is the energy that we put into something when we say it, whether it's positive or if it's negative. The work that they've done, and they represent in this book, in the onslaught of it, is they are able to freeze water and able to capture what that looks like if it's a positive statement versus a negative statement. And if you see the images and listen to and read the thesis of it, it's eye-opening. So be careful what you're saying to yourself. Make sure you're supporting yourself and others around you. Treat people with passion, dignity, and empathy. That's one of the things I got out of the conference. The other one that spoke to me was we got to hear from a client. It wasn't one of mine, but it's a similar story to what I've experienced in my own practice. This was a fellow who was a musician with dreams to be a professional musician, played the French horn, and realized that it wasn't going to happen. There was so many others that were better than him. So he changed his career and went into real estate. And that wasn't necessarily a steady trajectory. Matter of fact, with the first go at it, apparently had to close his business down, but he relaunched and relaunched differently. And he retained a coach who was a friend of his, and through a Champions Network approach to engaging with people and sharing what we do was a way for him to learn about what coaching is all about. And one of the things that was good about this particular business owner was because he was in music and he had been part of a marching band, I believe it was, for a long time, he was always being coached. So he was open and receptive to being coached. So what ends up happening was he was able to generate what he earned previously or generated in revenue in a year, in a quarter, in 90 days. And he blamed it on coaching in a good way. And what he also found out was, prior to having a coach, he had 1,001 things to do. Well, maybe it wasn't 1,001, but it was a lot of things. And with having a coach and identifying, where do you want to go? Where's your starting point? And what needs to happen between where you are and where you want to end up? And what are the most impactful things you could do that would move the needle closer to the end result so you get across the finish line? So with the help of his coach, doing the heavy lifting in terms of coming up with what was the ideal end result that he was looking for, he was able to create that success. Now, there's much more success in there than that, but that's all I wanted to share from that story. I think there's going to be a long-term engagement. I guess the last thing in and around that one particular story is that he said that his coach is his lowest investment that he makes on an annual basis. So it's very good value for his return on investment and energy. So keep that in mind. If you're looking for a coach, if you're looking to move forward in your own life, whether it be in business or personal, a coach can help you get there faster than you probably ever thought possible. Just think about it. The lowest expense or investment that this business owner has ever made, and he's going to continue to make it because it's free plus a profit. And the other thing that came to mind for me was less is more. And if we focus on, like Brian's book, Teachings and Philosophy, came from Mark Twain, was Eat That Frog. So if we were to spend most of our time in the 20% area of activities in our life areas, like we at the Focal Point World look at a diamond map, and in the diamond map there's 4 key areas: health and fitness, relationships, career, and finances. And if you set a harbor to hit, or an airport landing strip to land on, metaphorically speaking in both cases, and got really excited about what that's all about in terms of seeing yourself there already, what are the 3 to 5 things in each one of those areas, health and fitness, relationships, career, and finance, that if you had those goals vividly in your mind, what would they be? And then what you can do then is decide what things you need to take upon yourself to implement to help you move yourself there. And with the diamond map, you can check and see how you're doing. It's totally up to you to measure what's important for you and if you're moving towards where you're trying to get to. And the last nugget that's just showed up in my thinking right now is everything is thoughts. And if you put your energy and focus in the possibilities versus the impossibilities, the I can't haves, I can't do this, it's impossible. If you stay away from that, move towards what could be possible, what could you make happen, and imagine what if this did work out. And if you can get yourself to a place of being so positive that the people that are negative naysayers, they'll be repelled by your positivity and you won't have to interact and deal with them. Just imagine if you had nobody in your life that was derogatory, negative, and took your dreams, tried to take your dreams away. So are you adding value to the people that you care about and the people you serve? Are you slowing down to go fast? That's really what happened at conference. It was a 3-day virtual conference, obviously, because of the circumstances. It's the second one we had. And this time, it was better than the first time. Isn't that interesting? You can't get worse at doing something, except for golf, I was told. But other than that, so put the effort into slowing down to go fast. That's one of the things that our CEO and president of Focal Point has instilled upon me, is to do that. And as a result of that, my life is pretty good in most areas, most of the time. So let's see who's here and joined us. If you're here live with us right now, thank you for being here. Appreciate it. And if you're catching us on the replay, hashtag replay. That would be brilliantly to see that. Good morning, Randy Chaffee. How are you, buddy? Good to see you're up and around. Randy is a shark. That's the nickname he has. And the reason he's a shark is he's a fellow that provides extremely high value services and products. He's amazing. His energy is almost seems endless. It's shark-like. So that's it for today. But remember to slow down, to go fast. Be careful what you're thinking about. And if you want to achieve more, don't just rely on yourself. Others will help you get there. You know, the acronym team, together everyone achieves more. Who's on your team? Have a wonderful rest of the day, rest of the week, and rest of the quarter. We'll see you on another session of the Business Renovator. I'm Coach Phil.